Set up traffic cones. Knowing how to set up traffic cones can be a very helpful skill. These cones help direct traffic or provide ample warnings to road hazards such as unfixed manholes, a big bump on the road and the like. Properly placed traffic cones can spell the difference between a peaceful commute and a nasty road accident. If you need to set up these cones, you need to read through the reminders listed below on how and where to place them. It is not simply done by placing these cones on the road. There are several things you need to consider with each movement. Imagining the traffic flow. If you will be needing the cones to redirect traffic from a particular spot, then you need to first imagine and, if needed, sketch out the ideal traffic flow you have in mind. Strategize on how you can divert traffic from the obstruction that you want to be avoided, or picture how redirecting the vehicles and decongest a clogged area. Start mapping out the cones when you have a sound plan in place. Knowing the various cone types. Your next step is to know what type of cone should be used in your road. The shorter cones are usually meant for giving notice at a shorter distance, since the cones are smaller. These smaller cones are usually 1.5 feet in height. This would be useful for covering small bumps in the road and other minor obstructions that a driver can prepare for quickly. There are the larger types, which is usually a bit more than 2 feet in height. These cones are placed on bigger obstructions such as traffic accidents or road completion program. The bigger cones are seen from a longer distance and hence have warned the driver for a longer time. Spacing the cones properly. The next thing you need to do is to know how much space should be allotted per cone. Assuming that you have ample supply of traffic cones, you should place them tightly enough so that the cars cannot pass in between them, which is their primary purpose. This would send a correct message to the driver that they should drive around the cones and definitely not through it. Putting up cones in speedways. When you are setting up traffic cones for roads that vehicles travel at a higher speed, such as highways, then you need to place the cones as early in the road as possible, with tightly spaced cones until you are able to point the drivers to the proper lane. With this situation, you need to set up the cones early so that the drivers have lots of time to react and prepare. Testing the cones. If you have time, you can try going around the cones while using a bigger vehicle such as an SUV. Make sure that the traffic redirection is not too tight because the other vehicles cannot fit in it anymore. Make sure that your cones are in good condition and can still stand stable alone on the road. Make sure that the color is still discernible and that all cones are stored properly.